Welcome to another Hobo Talks. On this one, we're going to do a little bit of a recap. Going to go over what we've done over this last year, kind of what some goals are for the future, and kind of a little recap on really how I feel about what I've done and maybe some things I would do different. All right, let's get started. Decided to take a break from some Marvel rivals. Was thinking about watching that Mr. Beast game show, but instead decided to get on here and make a video. Real quick, put a comment below. Is anybody watching Mr. Beast games? I think it's on Amazon. It shows up like it's number one in the US. Like everybody's watching it, but I've seen no one talking about it at all. So not sure if it's worth my time. But we'll get back to that later. So when it really comes to me in 2024, Hobo Joe Jr., I really wanted to focus on income. Now most people are really supposed to focus on growth when you're around my age. When you're in your 30s, you really should be focused on growth. But I have some things in my life that I want to maybe try to achieve. One part of this is I want to replace my income. I want to retire before I'm, let's say, 50. I feel like once you get to 60, that normal age of retirement, a lot of things that you want to do aren't going to be as fun because you physically can't do them. So I think it's better to try to aim for something a little bit earlier. One of the main ways I did that was YieldMax. YieldMax was a huge game changer for me as far as the amount of money that they can kick out. A lot of the funds, though, as I found out somewhat the hard way, like Tesla, have extreme NAV erosion. And NAV erosion is basically where the the price of the actual stock goes down at a rate that is either equal or sometimes greater than the dividend. That's no good for me. That's not what I want to see. I don't want my shares to get cut in half because of reverse stock splits and things like that. But I did find some other funds that didn't quite fit that trend. Funds looking at things like NVDY, things looking like CONY for Coinbase, Misty, doing for Mr. for Bitcoin. There were other things that showed up that really, in my opinion, were game changers. And another thing that I really looked at is I got some debt in my life. Like most people, I had credit cards, I had different things I maybe invested in or did earlier in my life, in my 20s, some in my 30s, and I just want to address it. Debt is one of the things that holds people back and really keeps people from investing and living the lives they want. So I said, why not? What would be better than to actually invest in a way that allows me to get rid of my debt? And if YieldMax can continue for, let's say, 2 to 3 years, I should be fully debt free. Can maybe look at some things like rental houses or investing in some more blue chip stocks. So anyway, one of the main things I did this year versus other years is when I got extra bonuses, got money back from, let's say, taxes, from different situations that would come up, instead of just putting them in my bank account or just throwing them directly at a bill or not really having a plan for it at all, I chose to focus on yield max funds. So as you can see here, my top two holdings as it currently is, I have NVDY, 1,109 shares, and CONY, 585 shares. Misty's also on here for 58 shares. And I used to have Ulti, but I ended up selling out of that as I saw that it also shared some of the NAV erosion that Tesla had when I originally had that, albeit much, much slower. And Ulti kind of looks like it may be able to go up, but I just haven't seen any sustainable number that made me feel comfortable. So I chose to focus on the ones that, even though they do show some signs of NAV erosion, have also shown the ability to go up, to get above the $20, to maintain. Some have even hit $30, like Misty and NVIDIA. So this is kind of my end results of my stocks. As you can see, we did pretty good. NVIDIA is down a little bit, but that's okay. But we had 26,000 of NVIDIA, we had 8,000 of CONY, almost 5 grand of Broadcom, we have 4,400 of SoFi and 1,700 of Misty. And can't forget Big Bear AI. I've actually seen that at some airports recently. It kind of made me excited. And the stock that I really, back in the day, if you looked at 2023 me and 2022 me, JEPQ is what I wanted to be my main stock. I love the dividends. I love the growth. Even if it was just a dollar a month or whatever it was, plus the dividends it was getting. I absolutely loved it. But where I feel like I am right now, where I feel like I need to be, JEPQ is a little bit lower on the totem pole for me. And I really want to focus on maximizing the YieldMax funds. So let's look at the dividends. Let's go ahead. Let's flip around this yield. And actually, let's do the annual income. So if I keep NVDY for an entire year, basically does about what it's doing, which is about 86%. This would generate about $21,000, about 22, if you round up. CONY, being my second biggest yield max, is estimated to do $11,894. And Misty, even though if you remember it was like fourth or fifth on my list, even those 58 shares are going to give me another $1,600. Assuming, of course, keeps doing what it's doing. NVIDIA in particular is actually doing a second payment this month. All the YieldMax funds are doing 13 payouts this year, and NVIDIA is supposed to have a second payout at the end of this month. So that's going to be pretty cool. If I was talking to a young me or someone that was new to investing and they were looking at my portfolio, would I tell them to emulate this? I would kind of lean towards no. I think this is good for someone that's trying to get some income, that's trying to maybe help out with the bills or something like that. But I still do like having more growth stocks like Broadcom, which is down here for me, is one of those such stocks. Meta, NVIDIA, the actual NVIDIA, not NVIDIA, like the one I'm referring to, Qualcomm, Palantir, AITX. There's a lot of other stocks that, you know, within a couple months' time could double and triple your money. These that you're looking at best, are taking close to a year to do that. Even if you were to drip your dividend money back into the stock, you still have to wait some pretty significant time. And you also run the issue of taxes. You get taxed for all these dividends that you're getting. So even though I'm able to pay off bills and do things like that, if I don't save up money at the end of this year or before this end of this year, I'm going to have a bit of an issue because now I have all this untaxed income that's in here that now I need to pay taxes on. So I wouldn't recommend doing this exactly, but I do believe there is a place in everybody's portfolio for things like this. Because if nothing else, you can use this money to buy other stocks that you actually want to get. Lastly, I just want to say thank you to anybody that's watched any of my videos throughout the year. I know I haven't done that many of them, haven't been that consistent. I want to spend more time trying to maybe make the quality on these a little bit better and maybe talk about things people care about a little bit more and really just be more consistent overall. I really want to make this something that people want to watch and enjoy. Feel free to put comments below some things you think I could do better, some things that maybe you'd like to see on videos. I do have a small degree in programming, so I might could throw in some cool stuff if you guys give me some good ideas. But like I said, feel free to put something below, something that you want to see, something maybe that others do that, would be cool if I did it as well. I'm totally down for any suggestions. And oh yeah, in case you didn't know, I's a hobo. Thanks for watching. You know what? Just in case you're still here, just remember one thing that I didn't say. What is my goals for 2024? Or actually 2025 now? Realistically, it's just to pay off my debt. I don't know if that's something that I'm going to put on the channel and show, but ultimately, all of those stocks that I showed should allow me to double my money. And within some time, I should be able to remove a huge amount of debt and maybe do some rental income or do some other things. And one thing that would be a goal for me, very specifically for YouTube, is to get this channel monetized. I'd like to do some giveaways and some of that kind of stuff where I give out gift cards and things like that. But I want to use money that the videos are generating to do that. So that's really one of my other goals that I really have for this. So who knows? Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.